The hallway buzzed with chatter, locker doors slamming and laughter echoing through the school's walls. But in the middle of it all, 16-year-old Grace Williams walked with her head down, her thick, carefully braided cultural hair tucked beneath a soft scarf. She had transferred from a small town in Georgia just 2 months ago, and already she'd become the favorite target for a group of girls who called themselves the Queens, led by the arrogant and cruel Chelsea Harper. Grace didn't speak much. She didn't need to. Her silence carried stories of strength, tradition, and dignity passed down from generations of African heritage. Her grandmother, a Gullah woman who braided Grace's hair every Sunday night on FaceTime, once told her, "Your hair is your crown, baby. Never let anyone take it from you." But those words would be tested far sooner than anyone expected. It started small. Side-eye glances in class. Mimicked accents. Whispers followed by giggles when Grace walked past. But things escalated quickly. One day, while working quietly in the art room after school, Chelsea and her 2 sidekicks, Lindsay and Brianna, cornered her. "You think you're better than us, huh?" Chelsea sneered. "Hiding behind that scarf like you're some queen." Grace tried to leave, heart pounding, but Lindsay shoved her back. Brianna pulled out a pair of art shears from a drawer. "You wanna act different? We'll make you look different." In seconds, they ripped off her scarf. Then, snip, 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 the sound of blades cutting through her thick, beautiful braids filled the air. Grace didn't scream. She just froze, her tears falling silently. When they were done, the girls dropped the chopped strands at her feet and laughed their way out the room, leaving her alone with the pieces of her stolen identity. Grace didn't go to school for 3 days. She locked herself in her room, barely eating, staring at her reflection with a mixture of pain and shame. Her grandmother cried when she saw the damage. But then she said something that shifted everything. "They took your crown, baby, but not your fire. So, what are you going to do now? Cry, or create?" Those words sparked something deep inside Grace. She went to her closet, pulled out a box of her father's old martial arts gear, and called the only number she never thought she'd use, Coach Darryl, her late father's best friend, a retired martial arts trainer. "Teach me everything," she said. "I want to fight. Not with fists, but with purpose." When the curtain rose that night, silence fell across the auditorium. Grace walked out in a flowing, African-patterned martial arts robe. Her hair, now in neat cornrows, glistened under the lights. In her hand, she held a traditional wooden blade, a symbolic piece used in cultural defense dances. The music started, soft drums, echoing chants. Grace moved with grace and power, blending martial arts with traditional African dance. Every movement told a story of heritage, pain, resistance, and reclaiming power. At the climax, she leapt into a spinning kick and drove the blade down in a powerful stance. The audience erupted. But the true moment came afterward. As Chelsea and her crew mocked her in the hallway, pretending to bow and laugh, Grace walked right up to them, calm, confident. She held out a box. Inside? The same shears they'd used to cut her braids. But now, wrapped in silk. "This was the weapon you used to tear me down," Grace said, her voice steady. "I used it to cut the past loose and shape a new future. You don't get to define me anymore." Chelsea's face dropped. Her words failed her. For the first time, she looked small, because power, real power, wasn't in cruelty. It was in surviving it. Grace's story went viral after a teacher posted the performance. Comments flooded in from around the world, young girls sharing similar stories, thanking her for her bravery. Grace didn't scalp them in the way they had hurt her. She did something far more powerful. She turned their blade into her badge. She scalped their pride, their superiority, and their cruelty without ever laying a hand.